If you're planning a Walt Disney World trip for 2025, we need to prepare you for something. It's going to be very different than your last trip. From crowds to prices, attractions, and policies, we cover it all to ensure you're one step ahead of everyone else in the parks. Up next. Welcome aboard, everyone. I'm Don B from Eat, Sleep, Disney. And for once, we can start with some good news. Disney World crowds have actually been significantly lighter than expected in 2025. And this isn't just social media hype or eye-catching viral video headlines. It's actually backed by data. For example, our friends over at Touring Plans reported that on 78% of the days, their models over-predicted the crowd levels. And this was particularly true in Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios, where some of the larger headliner attractions actually saw historically low wait times. Part of the reason why Disney World is less crowded in 2025 might be due to the opening of Epic Universe over at Universal Studios in May. While you might think that this would make Disney World busier, it's actually had the opposite effect. Now, surprisingly, Epic Universe hasn't been as busy as expected. Well, for a brand new theme park, when compared to the opening of other new theme parks in the recent past. So this seems to have created a psychological effect where people are postponing Disney trips, thinking everywhere will be packed, when reality is quite different. Other factors are at play too. For example, Disney's CFO indicated that international attendance at the domestic parks still hasn't returned to pre-COVID levels, and there's been about a 1.5% decline in recent international visits. Disney Tourist blog notes that summer 2025 has been so slow that they were tempted to use the word off-season in their analysis. However, looking ahead, crowds should stabilize somewhat, with some predictable patterns in Disney crowds, with the fall still being off-season, and crowds coming back to the parks over the holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas. Still expected that Christmas and New Year's will be the busiest 2-week stretch of the entire year, but just exactly how busy it will be compared to the past is unknown. The bottom line, if you're willing to deal with some construction and closures, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, you might actually get better crowd levels in 2025 and early 2026 than you've seen in years. But the lower than expected crowd levels at Disney World will most likely sustain at least through the first half of 2026. Along with potentially lighter crowds, there's also been another big improvement in 2025 that will make going to Disney World much easier. That is, changes to the app. Perhaps one of the biggest improvements in the app is the map. Now, if you used the app before, you know that the map could be, let's just say, challenging. Well, Disney finally fixed this. They released a brand new version of the app, 8.6, and the difference is night and day. Instead of hiding everything behind drop-down menus, all your main options, like wait times, dining, attractions, and entertainment, are right there at the top in a horizontal scroll menu. No more digging through menus just to see restaurant wait times or to find the nearest restrooms. And here's what's really helpful. They added a second row of filters below the main ones. So if you're looking for dining, you can immediately filter by quick service, mobile order, or even price range without having to click through multiple screens. The new layout gives you way more information at a glance. They also made it easier to find water bottle refill stations, which is huge if you're trying to save money on drinks. So if you haven't already done so, update your app. Definitely do that before your next trip and make sure you have the 8.6 or higher edition. But the app improvements are just the beginning. Disney actually delivered some major new experiences in 2025. Perhaps the most exciting for those hardcore Disney fans is a new nighttime parade. Disney Starlight Dream the Night Away debuted July 20th, and it's the first regular nighttime parade since the Main Street Electrical Parade left in 2016. That's almost a decade without one. The parade runs nightly at 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. Over at Epcot, they opened something completely unique. Geo 82, an adults-only lounge literally inside Spaceship Earth. It opened June 4th and takes over the old corporate space above the ride exit. While cocktails are pricey, and there's a $179 firework viewing experience, reservations sell out in minutes. Test Track is back in Epcot, but it's basically a completely different ride. Test Track 3.0 ditches the whole design your own car concept and went with a World of Motion throwback theme about transportation innovation. Don't worry though, the attraction still hits 65 miles on the outdoor track with a brand new queue, scenes, and even music. Hollywood Studios got 2 new shows on the same day. On May 27th, The Little Mermaid, a musical adventure, replaced the old show with live performers, new puppetry. Then there's Disney Villains, Unfairly Ever After. This interactive show where the audience helps decide which villain has been treated most unfairly, featuring some of your favorite bad guys like Maleficent and Captain Hook. But on the flip side, while Disney's adding new experiences, they're also closing some major attractions for extended refurbishments or getting rid of them altogether for new attractions coming in the future. For example, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad has been closed since January and won't reopen until 2026. Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin closes August 4th for a complete overhaul with new ride vehicles and scenes, again also reopening in 2026. And while Spaceship Earth at Epcot closes August 25th, this is for general maintenance and should reopen later this year. But there are big construction projects going on at several Walt Disney World theme parks. For example, Magic Kingdom has permanently closed Tom Sawyer Island and the Rivers of America to make way for a Cars-themed area called Piston Peak National Park. So Disney is draining the entire Rivers of America and filling it to create 2 new Cars attractions. Over at Hollywood Studios, they're building an entirely new Monsters Inc. land called Monstropolis, where Muppet 3D used to be. The centerpiece is Disney's first ever suspended roller coaster, the Dora Vault Coaster, where you'll dangle your feet while zooming through the Monster Factory, just like in the movie. However, this means that currently the entire Grand Avenue at Disney Hollywood Studios is closed. So Muppet Vision 3D, Pizza Rizzo, and Mama Melrose Restaurant are all permanently closed. However, the Muppets aren't disappearing. They're taking over Rock and Roller Coaster in 2026. And Animal Kingdom is getting its biggest transformation ever, replacing the entire Dinoland area with Tropical Americas. They're building new attractions based on Encanto and Indiana Jones, set to open in 2027. While it's currently slated to stay open through 2025, fans of Dinosaur will want to get in their final rides, as that attraction is closing in 2026 to become an Indiana Jones adventure. And construction has already started as the Dino-Rama area permanently closed earlier this year. So if you're thinking of visiting Disney World in 2025 or 2026, check to see what's actually open before you book. Some of Disney's most popular attractions will be down for months, and entire areas of the park are being reimagined. But it's not just rides. Major resort construction is happening at several hotels. Disney's Grand Floridian is getting a complete lobby overhaul through November of this year. Disney's Boardwalk Inn is undergoing major refurbishments, and the Bay Lake Tower at Contemporary Resort has room refurbishments ongoing until July of 2026. And there's always a chance that further refurbishments and construction will occur, so again, check the My Disney Experience app or Disney's website for the most up-to-date list of ride and hotel refurbishments. Let's be honest, a trip to Walt Disney World's never been a cheap family vacation. But in 2025 and beyond, traveling to the House of the Mouse will cost even more. Let's start with the biggest sticker shock, ticket prices. For the first time since 2018, Disney raised the minimum ticket prices in 2025. The cheapest ticket used to be $109. Now it's $119 minimum. And during the holidays, those peak times like Thanksgiving and Christmas, a single day at Magic Kingdom can cost you close to $199. Now that's a new record high. In fact, those peak prices have nearly doubled over the last 10 years. So when you used to pay $99 for a peak day, you're paying close to $200 now. Annual pass holders also got hit hard in 2025. The IncrediPass, that's the one available to everyone, not just Florida residents, which are the tickets Heidi and I have because unfortunately we don't live in Florida, went up by $100 this year. The Florida resident passes also increased between $30 to $80 depending on which tier you get. Food prices are also higher in 2025. Character dining meals increased between $3 to $6 per person at most locations. Quick service restaurants saw smaller bumps, usually $1 per meal, but even snacks like Mickey pretzels and popcorn cost more now in 2025. And if you're thinking about the Disney dining plan, well, that went up about 3.5% this year as well. Even parking got more expensive. Theme park parking increased by $5 per day. Now, thankfully, a few years ago, Disney reinstated benefits to those staying at Disney Resort hotels. Now, guests staying at Disney Resort hotels do not pay for parking at the theme parks. And there's no overnight parking fees at Disney Resort hotels when you self-park. But honestly, we're big fans of using the free Disney transportation when staying at a Disney World Resort hotel, so we recommend you forego the car rental altogether and just use the included transportation at your Disney hotel. The reality is, if you're coming back to Disney World after a few years away, you need to budget significantly more than your last trip. We're talking about increases that hit every part of your vacation: tickets, food, parking, and even those Lightning Lane services cost more. The good news is that Disney is offering more discounts and bundle packages than ever. But the bottom line, if you're planning a 2025 or 2026 Disney World trip and you're using a 2023 budget, you're going to come up short. You need to plan to spend about 15% more on the basics compared to a couple of years ago. And to help you craft the perfect Disney World budget, we have a complete video right here on YouTube that walks you through all the costs of going to Disney World and how much you should budget for each category. That way you'll know exactly how much money you need to allocate for your family trip to Disney World based on your preferences. But one of the easiest ways to ensure you get the best deal on your Disney World trip is by using an authorized vacation planner. Now, Heidi and I are not travel advisors. That's why we've partnered with Mouse Fan Travel. They are the official travel partner of Eat, Sleep, Disney. You can take advantage of all their great deals and promotions using our exclusive link down in the description. And while policies and procedures like theme park opening times is constantly changing, there have been a few updates in 2025 that might impact your stay. Earlier this year, Disney walked back some of the changes they had made in 2024 to their Disability Access Service. In January of this year, they removed the word "only" from their policy wording, which could potentially expand who qualifies for this service. They've also extended the registration window from 30 days to 60 days prior to your visit. And as of May 2025, DAS now lasts for 240 days or the length of your ticket, whichever is shorter. Guests staying at any Disney Resort hotel now get free water park access on your check-in day. That's right, you have access to Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach included with your stay, which normally costs $74 per adult. There's no advance booking required. Just show up with your Magic Band or hotel keycard. It's one of the few genuinely free additions Disney has recently made. But Disney has also made some policy changes that could cost you more money if you're not careful. Hotel cancellation policies are now stricter. You need to cancel room-only reservations at least 8 days in advance to avoid losing your deposit, compared to 5 days in advance, which used to be the previous policy. Not knowing what's included in your Walt Disney World package is just one of the mistakes we still see even veteran Disney goers making. Well, we put together a complete list of the common Walt Disney World mistakes we still see people making and how you can avoid them. Armed with those tips and tricks, you'll be one step ahead of everyone else in the parks, and your next Disney vacation will truly be unforgettable.